Hyenwoo Park stood at the window of the transport ship and watched the massive space station grow larger. Nexus 7 was huge. It looked like a metal city floating in space. Ships of all shapes and sizes moved around it like busy insects. "First time seeing the Academy?" asked the pilot. She was blue and had 4 arms. Hyenwoo had never seen her species before. "Yes," Hyenwoo said. He spoke slowly. His English was good, but not perfect. "It is very big." The pilot laughed. "Wait until you see inside. The Academy trained soldiers from 200 different worlds. You humans are the newest members." Hyenwoo nodded. He knew this already. Earth had joined the Galactic Defense Union only 2 years ago. Before that, humans did not know aliens existed. Now he was going to train with them. The transport ship docked with a soft bump. Hyenwoo picked up his small bag. He did not bring much. The Academy would give him everything he needed. "Good luck, human," the pilot said. "You will need it." Hyenwoo walked through the airlock into the station. The corridor was wide and tall. Aliens of many different types walked past him. Some had fur, some had scales, some looked like walking rocks. A few looked almost human, but with strange colors or extra eyes. He followed the signs to the new cadet area. His feet felt light on the metal floor. The station had artificial gravity, but it was weaker than Earth's gravity. Each step felt like he might float away. The registration desk was run by a tall, thin alien with gray skin and no hair. She looked at a screen when Hyenwoo approached. "Name?" she asked. "Hyenwoo Park, from Earth." The alien's large eyes widened to human. "Yes, we have been expecting you." She handed him a datapad. "Room 847C, your bunkmate is already there. Report to briefing hall 7 in 2 hours." Hyenwoo took the datapad and found his way to the living quarters. The halls were busy with cadets. Most ignored him, but some stared. A few whispered to each other as he passed. Room 847C was small but clean. There were 2 beds, 2 desks, and 2 lockers. On one bed sat the strangest creature Hyenwoo had ever seen. It looked like a giant insect. It had 6 arms and legs. Its body was covered in hard, shiny plates that were dark green and brown. 4 eyes on stalks moved to look at him. "You must be the human," it said in perfect English. "I am Kira. I am from Rigel Prime." "Hello, Kira. I am Hyenwoo." Kira's head tilted. "That is a hard name to say. Can I call you something else?" "Just call me Park. That is my family name." "Park. Good. That is easier." Kira moved to make room on the bed. "Sit. I will tell you about this place." Hyenwoo sat on his own bed. The mattress was harder than he expected. "How long have you been here?" he asked. 3 months. I came early to get used to the gravity and air." Kira's eyes moved independently. 2 looked at Hyenwoo, while 2 looked around the room. "This place is dangerous for new cadets." "Dangerous how?" "The training is very hard. Many cadets quit in the first month. Some get hurt badly. Last week, a cadet from the Multhree worlds broke 3 bones during basic combat training." Hyenwoo had heard of the Multhree. They were from a world with very strong gravity. They were supposed to be some of the toughest beings in the galaxy. "What kind of training do they do here?" Hyenwoo asked. Kira's eyes all focused on him. "You do not know. Did they not tell you before you came?" "They told me some things, but not everything. The Academy trains soldiers for the Galactic Defense. Forcer training is based on the hardest military programs from 50 different worlds. Only the strongest and smartest cadets graduate." Kira stood up and walked to the window. Her 6 legs moved in a smooth pattern. "But there is one training exercise that everyone fears. They call it the Endurance Crucible." "What is that?" "It is a test that lasts 1 full week. 7 days with no rest. Cadets must survive in hostile environments, fight enemies, solve puzzles, and work in teams, all while being watched and tested every moment." Hyenwoo listened carefully. It sounded difficult, but not impossible. "How many cadets pass this test?" he asked. "About 60%. But many who pass are badly hurt. Some never fully recover." Kira's voice became quieter. "They say it is the closest thing to real war without actually dying." "When do cadets usually take this test?" "After 6 months of basic training, but some wait longer. They want to be ready. The instructors always warn cadets not to attempt it too early." Hyenwoo thought about this. In the Korean military, he had done training exercises that lasted several days. Hell Week in the UDT SEAL program was 7 days of almost no sleep and constant physical challenges. Many soldiers failed that training too. "Have you taken this test yet?" he asked Kira. "No, I am still preparing. My species is strong, but we are not built for long endurance. We are better at short bursts of activity." Kira turned back to him. "What about humans? Are you built for endurance?" Hyenwoo thought about how to answer. Humans were persistence. Hunters, they could run for hours chasing prey. Human soldiers could march for days with heavy packs, but he did not want to sound like he was bragging. "We can do okay," he said. A loud sound echoed through the station. It was like a horn, but deeper. "That is the call for new cadet briefing," Kira said. "We should go." They left the room and joined a stream of cadets moving through the corridors. Hyenwoo noticed he was the only human in the group. He also noticed that most of the aliens were much larger than him. Some were twice his height and 3 times his weight. Briefing Hall 7 was a large room with seats arranged in a circle. At the center was a raised platform. Hyan-Woo and Kira found seats near the back. As more cadets entered, Hyan-Woo saw the incredible diversity of life in the galaxy. There were beings made of what looked like living crystal. Others seemed to be made of metal. One group looked like walking trees with faces. Finally, a figure stepped onto the central platform. It was tall and made of clear blue crystal. Light moved through its body like water. When it spoke, its voice sounded like wind chimes. Welcome, new cadets. I am Instructor Vel. I am the commandant of this academy. The hall became completely quiet. You come from many worlds. You speak many languages. You have many different strengths and weaknesses. But here, you will all face the same challenges. Veltar's crystal body pulsed with blue light. Some of you will succeed. Some will fail. Some will discover they are stronger than they knew. Others will learn they are not as strong as they thought. The commandant's glowing eyes seemed to look at each cadet individually. The galaxy is not a safe place. There are dangers you cannot imagine. Pirates, hostile species, natural disasters, and worse. The Galactic Defense Force protects billions of innocent lives. To join us, you must prove you are worthy. Veltar raised one crystal arm. Your training begins tomorrow. Work hard, support your fellow cadets, do not give up easily, but also know your limits. It is better to quit than to die. The briefing continued for another hour. Veltar explained the schedule, the rules, and the different training programs. Hyan-Woo listened carefully, but his mind wandered. He thought about his home on Earth. His family did not understand why he volunteered for this program. His sister Dayun had cried when he left. His parents were proud but worried. Korea had a strong military tradition. Service was an honor. But this was different. This was not just about protecting one country. This was about protecting entire worlds. When the briefing ended, cadets began to leave. Hyan-Woo and Kira walked back to their room together. What do you think? Kira asked. It'll be interesting, Hyan-Woo said. Are you nervous? Hyan-Woo considered the question. He had been nervous before his first military training. He had been nervous before his first real mission. But this felt different. A little, he admitted, but also excited. That is good. Fear keeps you alive, but too much fear makes you weak. Back in their room, they prepared for sleep. The station's artificial day-night cycle was beginning its night phase. The lights dimmed automatically. As Hyan-Woo lay in his bed, he thought about the Endurance Crucible. 7 days of continuous testing. Most cadets waited 6 months before attempting it. He wondered what made it so difficult. It sounded like standard military training to him. Long, hard, but not impossible. Maybe alien species were just not as tough as humans. Or maybe humans were not as tough as they thought. He would find out soon enough. Outside his window, the stars shone like tiny diamonds against the black of space. Somewhere among those stars was Earth. His home seemed very far away. Tomorrow his real training would begin. The next morning, Hyan-Woo woke up before the station's wake-up alarm. He had always been an early riser. Back in Korea, he would run 5 kilometers before breakfast. Here he did push-ups and sit-ups in the small space between the beds. Kira's eyes opened and watched him exercise. You are very active for someone who just woke up, Kira said. I like to start the day with movement, Hyan-Woo replied, finishing his 100th push-up. 100 push-ups. That seems like a lot, Hyan-Woo smiled. This is just a warm-up. They went to the cafeteria for breakfast. The food was strange but edible. Hyan-Woo ate everything on his tray. He had learned in the military to eat whenever food was available. Other cadets stared at him as he ate. Some whispered to each other. Word had spread that a human had arrived after breakfast. All new cadets reported to Training Hall Alpha. The room was enormous. The ceiling was so high that Hyan-Woo could barely see it. Different training areas were set up around the hall. There were obstacle courses, combat rings, and strange machines he did not recognize. A loud voice boomed across the hall. New cadets. Form lines by species. Hyan-Woo looked around. Cadets were organizing themselves into groups. Rock-like beings stood together. The furry creatures made another group. The insect-like aliens, including Kira, formed their own line. Hey, stood alone. Heavy footsteps approached him. He turned to see the largest alien he had ever encountered. It was reptilian, with thick scales and muscles. It stood 3 meters tall and was almost as wide as it was tall. Scars covered its arms and face. You are the human, the creature said, in a deep, gravelly voice. Yes, sir. I am Drill Sergeant Sictos. I have been fighting wars since before your species learned to make fire. Hyan-Woo stood at attention. He recognized the authority in the alien's voice. Sir. Yes, sir. Sictos circled around Hyan-Woo, looking him up and down. You are small, weak-looking. Your world's gravity is only standard level. Your atmosphere is thin. Your species has no natural weapons. The drill sergeant stopped in front of him. Tell me, human, what makes you think you can survive military training designed for the galaxy's strongest species? Hyan-Woo thought carefully before answering. Sir, I do not know if I can, but I will try my best. Sictos stared at him for a long moment. Then he made a sound that might have been laughter. At least you are honest. Most new cadets think they are warriors already. He made a note on his datapad. You will start with the basic training program. Low-intensity combat, simple survival, exercises, team coordination drills. Sir, what about the advanced program? Advanced program, Zikto's eyes narrowed. Human cadets spend months preparing for advanced training. Species from high-gravity worlds sometimes die in advanced training. You are from a soft world with easy conditions. Yes, sir. You will start with basic training. If you survive that, without injury, we will consider moving you up. Ziktos walked away, then turned back. Do not try to be a hero, human. Heroes die quickly here. The training began immediately. Hyan-Woo was assigned to a mixed group of new cadets. Besides himself and Kira, there was Locke, a fuzzy creature from a cold world, and Thane, who looked like a walking tree. Their first exercise was a simple obstacle course. Cadets had to climb walls, crawl under barriers, and jump across gaps. It was timed, but the instructors said speed was not important. The goal was to finish without getting hurt. Hyun-Woo watched the other cadets go first. Locke struggled with the climbing wall. His fur got caught on the rough surface. Thane's tree-like body was too stiff to crawl under the low barriers easily. Kira did well with her 6 limbs, but moved slowly and carefully. When it was Hyan-Woo's turn, he completed the course quickly and smoothly. The instructors checked their timers twice. Human, did you cheat somehow? Asked Instructor Bex, a blue-skinned alien with tentacles for arms. No, sir, I just ran the course. Your time is faster than most cadets achieve after weeks of practice. Hyan-Woo was confused. The obstacle course reminded him of basic training exercises from his military service. It was actually easier than what he remembered. Maybe the timer is broken, he suggested. The next exercise was strength training. Cadets had to lift metal bars of different weights. The goal was to find each cadet's maximum lifting capacity. Hyan-Woo's group went to a machine that looked like a weight bench. Locke went first and struggled to lift a bar that the machine said weighed 50 kilograms. Thane lifted 75 kilograms with effort. Kira managed 60 kilograms using 4 of her 6 arms. Your turn, human, Instructor Beck said. Hy lay on the bench and gripped the bar. 50 kilograms felt very light. He lifted it easily. More weight, Instructor Beck said, looking surprised. They added more weight. 75 kilograms was still easy. 100 kilograms felt normal. They kept adding weight until Hyan-Woo was lifting 150 kilograms. That is enough, Instructor Bex said quickly. We do not want you to hurt yourself. But Hyan-Woo felt like he could lift more. 150 kilograms was what he normally lifted during exercise back on Earth. Sir, I think I can do more weight. No, safety first. Instructor Bex made notes on his datapad. His tentacles moved nervously. The afternoon brought combat training. Cadets learned basic fighting techniques using padded weapons. The goal was to practice movements without hurting each other. Hyan-Woo partnered with Kira. She was much larger than him, with natural armor and 6 limbs. The instructor said she should have an advantage. But when they began to spar, Hyan-Woo moved faster than Kira could follow. His reflexes were quicker. His movements were more precise. Within seconds, he had touched her with his padded weapon 3 times. Stop, called Instructor Bex. Kira, you are not trying hard enough, sir. I am trying, Kira protested. The human is very fast. They tried again. This time, Kira moved as quickly as she could, but Hyan-Woo still won easily. Instructor Bex frowned. Human, have you had combat training before? Yes, sir. In my world's military. I see. That explains it. But Instructor Bex still looked troubled. The training continued for several hours. Every exercise showed the same pattern. Hyan-Woo performed better than expected. Much better. When the day ended, the instructors gathered around Drill Sergeant Ziktos. Hyan-Woo could not hear what they were saying, but they kept looking at him and checking their datapads. That evening, Hyan-Woo sat in the cafeteria with Kira, Locke, and Thane. His new friends seemed quiet. Is something wrong? Hyan-Woo asked. The instructors are talking about you, Thane said in his slow, deep voice. They say your performance today was unusual. Unusual how? Too good, Locke said, his fur bristling nervously. Cadets are not supposed to be that strong or fast on their first day. Kira leaned closer. Park, how long did you serve in your world's military? For years I was in Special Forces. Special Forces, elite soldiers. We trained harder than regular soldiers. His friends exchanged looks. What kind of training? Kira asked. Hyan-Woo thought about how to explain. We would exercise for many hours each day. We learned to fight without weapons. We practiced shooting until we never missed. We did survival training in mountains and forests. For how long? The basic course was 6 months. Then more advanced training for 2 years. Thane's wooden face creaked as his expression changed. You trained for 2 years straight. Not straight, but yes, advanced training took 2 years to complete. That is longer than most cadets spend at this academy, Locke whispered. Hyan-Woo was beginning to understand why everyone seemed surprised by his performance. Maybe human military training was more intense than he had realized. What about the hardest training you ever did? Kira asked. Hell Week, Hyan-Woo said without thinking. Hell Week. 7 days of almost no sleep, constant physical challenges, cold water, heavy loads, long runs. Many soldiers quit during Hell Week. The table went completely silent. 7 days, Thane asked slowly. Yes, some parts were harder than others, but it was 7 days total. Kira's 4 eyes all focused on him. Park, that sounds like the Endurance Crucible, really. The Crucible is also 7 days long. It is designed to be the hardest test in the galaxy. Haiyan-Wu felt confused, but you said most cadets wait 6 months before trying it. Yes, because it is so difficult. Most species need months to build up their strength and endurance. How many cadets die during this test? Kira looked shocked. No one dies, but many get badly hurt. Some have to go to the medical center for weeks. Haiyan-Wu found this strange. In Hell Week, soldiers sometimes got hurt, but the training was designed to be survivable. The point was to test mental toughness, not to actually harm people. Maybe the Crucible is not as hard as Hell Week, he said. His friend stared at him. Park, Kira said carefully. The Endurance Crucible breaks cadets from the strongest warrior species in the galaxy. If your Hell Week was harder than that, then humans are much tougher than anyone realizes. That night, as Haiyan-Wu lay in his bed, he thought about what Kira had said. Maybe humans were tougher than other species. Or maybe other species were just not as tough as they claimed. Either way, he was beginning to think his time at the academy might be very different from what he had expected. Outside his window, he could see the lights of ships moving through space. Somewhere out there were worlds full of aliens who thought they were the galaxy's greatest warriors. 3 weeks passed quickly at the academy. Haiyan-Wu continued to surprise his instructors every day. What they thought was difficult, he found easy. What they called impossible, he did without effort. The other cadets began to avoid him. Some were afraid. Others were jealous. Only Kira, Locke, and Thane remained his friends. The instructors are talking about you again, Kira told him one morning. They think you might be ready for advanced training already. Haiyan-Wu was surprised. He had been at the academy for less than a month. Drill Sergeant Ziktos wants to test you on something special. After breakfast, Haiyan-Wu was called to the commandant's office. The room was made of the same blue crystal as Instructor Veltar. Light moved through the walls like flowing water. Veltar stood behind a large desk. Beside her was Drill Sergeant Ziktos and several other instructors Haiyan-Wu had never seen before. Cadet Park, Veltar said, her voice like wind chimes. Your performance has been remarkable. Thank you, sir. We have decided to offer you something unusual. You may attempt the Endurance Crucible. Haiyan-Wu felt excited. Finally, a real challenge. When do I start? Now if you wish, but you must understand, this test is dangerous. We have prepared medical teams. If you are hurt badly, we will pull you out immediately. I understand. Zeke stepped forward. Human, I have seen warriors from 50 different worlds attempt this test. Many fail. Those who pass are never the same afterward. Are you certain you want to do this? Haiyan-Wu thought about it. The test was supposed to last 7 days. It reminded him of Hell Week, which he had completed successfully. How much harder could this be? Yes, sir, I am ready. The instructors looked at each other. Veltar's crystal body pulsed with nervous light. Very well. Report to Simulation Chamber 1 in 30 minutes. Bring only the clothes you are wearing. Everything else will be provided inside the simulation. Haiyan-Wu returned to his room to change into his training uniform. Kira was waiting for him. I heard you were attempting the Crucible today, she said. Yes, Park. Please be careful. I have seen cadets go into that chamber strong and proud. Some come out broken. I will be fine. Promise me something. If the test becomes too much, quit. There is no shame in knowing your limits. Haiyan-Wu nodded, though he did not plan to quit. Simulation Chamber 1 was enormous. The walls, floor, and ceiling were covered with advanced hologram projectors. When the simulation was active, the chamber could create any environment in the galaxy. Dozens of instructors and technicians filled the observation room above the chamber. Through the thick glass, Haiyan-Wu could see them preparing their equipment. Drill Sergeant Ziktos gave him final instructions. The simulation will place you on a hostile world. You must survive for 48 hours using only what you can find. Then you will face combat scenarios for 36 hours. After that, puzzle solving under physical stress for 24 hours, team coordination for 12 hours, and finally, a comprehensive test while under extreme fatigue for 12 hours. 7 days total, Haiyan-Wu said. 7 days total. The simulation will monitor your health constantly. If your life signs become dangerous, we will stop the test immediately. What happens if I complete it? No one has ever completed it in less than 6 days. The record holder took 6 days and 14 hours. Most cadets who pass need the full 7 days. Haiyan-Wu nodded. He was ready. Begin simulation, Ziktos called to the technicians. The chamber filled with light. When it faded, Haiyan-Wu stood in a jungle. The air was thick and humid. Strange plants grew everywhere. In the distance, he could hear the sounds of dangerous animals. The first task was survival. He needed food, water, and shelter. Haiyan-Wu looked around carefully. The plants were alien, but some looked similar to Earth plants he knew. During his military training, he had learned to identify edible plants in many different environments. He He found fruits that smelled safe. He tested them carefully, eating only small amounts at first. When his stomach did not react badly, he ate more. Within 15 minutes he had found enough food for several days. Water was easier. He found a stream and tested it. It tasted clean. He drank deeply and filled his empty stomach with water. For shelter, he used techniques learned in survival school. He gathered branches and large leaves. In 10 minutes he had built a simple but effective shelter. In the observation room, alarms began to sound. The simulation is malfunctioning. Called a technician. He has completed the 48-hour survival segment in 15 minutes. That is impossible, Zicto said. Check the time settings. Time settings are correct, sir. The human has actually completed the survival tasks. Veltar leaned forward. Continue the simulation. Begin combat scenarios. The jungle disappeared. Hyenwu now stood in a rocky desert. Enemy soldiers appeared from behind rocks and hills. They carried energy weapons and moved to surround him. The combat simulation was designed to be a long, exhausting battle. Most cadets would spend hours fighting wave after wave of enemies, slowly wearing down their strength and reflexes. Hyenwu moved differently. His military training had taught him to think tactically. Instead of fighting every enemy, he identified the key threats first. He used the terrain to his advantage. He moved quickly and efficiently, wasting no energy on unnecessary actions. The simulation threw everything at him: flying enemies, armored vehicles, traps, and ambushes. Each challenge was designed to take hours to overcome. Hyenwu solved them in minutes. Sir, called another technician, his heart rate has not increased above resting level. That cannot be right. Check the sensors. Sensors are working correctly. His body temperature is normal. His breathing is steady. He shows no signs of fatigue. In the observation room, more alarms began to sound. Computer systems were overheating from processing impossible data. Zecto stared at the monitors in disbelief. How long has he been in the simulation? 30 minutes, sir. He has completed survival and half of the combat scenarios in 30 minutes. Yes, sir. The combat simulation ended. Now came the puzzle-solving phase. This was designed to test mental ability while under physical stress. Most cadets would be exhausted by this point, making it hard to think clearly. Hyenwu felt fine. The puzzles appeared on screens around him: mathematics, logic problems, pattern recognition, and strategic planning. Each puzzle was designed to take hours to solve, especially for a tired mind. Hyenwu had always been good at puzzles. In the Korean military, he had scored in the top 5% on all intelligence tests. These puzzles were challenging, but not impossible. He solved them steadily, one after another. 45 minutes, called a technician. He has completed 3/4 of the entire crucible in 45 minutes. This is impossible, Veltar said. No being in the galaxy can perform at this level, ma'am. Should we stop the simulation? No, let him finish. I must see this. The team coordination phase began. Hyenwu was supposed to work with AI teammates to complete complex missions, but the AI teammates were programmed to move and think at normal alien speeds. To Hyenwu, they seemed incredibly slow. After waiting for his AI partner to make simple decisions, Hyenwu began completing the missions alone. It was actually easier without teammates who moved so slowly. 55 minutes, announced the technician. He is beginning the final phase. His vital signs, still completely normal. He could be sitting in a comfortable chair for all his body knows. The final phase was designed to test performance under extreme exhaustion. Most cadets reached this point barely able to stand. Their minds would be clouded with fatigue. Simple tasks would become nearly impossible. Hyenwu felt more alert than when he had started. The final test included physical challenges, mental puzzles, and combat scenarios all mixed together. It was designed to break the will of even the strongest cadets. Hyenwu completed it like he was taking a pleasant walk. 59 minutes, called the technician. 59 minutes for what? 59 minutes total. He has completed the entire endurance crucible. The observation room went completely silent. Sir, the technician continued, should I end the simulation? Zictos could not speak. His scaled hands shook as he stared at the monitors. 1 hour, announced the technician. Final time, 1 hour, 0 minutes, 15 seconds. The simulation ended. The jungle, desert, and test environments disappeared. Hyenwu stood alone in the empty chamber, looking slightly confused. Is that all? He called up to the observation room. I thought this was supposed to be a 7th test. Emergency alarms began sounding throughout the academy. Computer systems crashed as they tried to process the impossible data. Medical teams rushed to the simulation chamber, expecting to find a nearly dead cadet. Instead, they found Hyenwu stretching his arms and looking disappointed. That was easier than I expected, he said. When do we start the real test? In the observation room, Drill Sergeant Zictos, veteran of 200 years of warfare, sat down heavily in a chair and stared at the monitors. For the first time in his long military career, he did not know what to say. Get me the Galactic Defense Council, Veltar said quietly. We have a problem. The Academy had never experienced a full emergency alert before. Sirens wailed through every corridor. Red lights flashed in every room. Instructors ran from place to place, shouting orders that made no sense. HFY sat in the medical center, confused by all the excitement. 3 doctors examined him with strange instruments. They took his blood, measured his brain activity, and scanned his entire body. His cellular structure is normal, reported Dr. Nexera, the Academy's chief medical officer. She was a tall, thin alien with pale green skin and large black eyes. No signs of genetic modification or artificial enhancement. His nervous system, asked Veltar, completely natural, but his reflexes are 3 times faster than our fastest recorded species. His muscle density higher than species from 2 5G worlds, yet he comes from a 1G world. Veltar's crystal body pulsed with worried light. Doctor, in your medical opinion, is this human normal for his species? Dr. Nexera checked her instruments again. Based on our data about human physiology, yes, he appears to be a healthy, normal human male. Then all humans are like this. That is what our data suggests. In the observation room, Drill Sergeant Zyktos was having his first panic attack in 2 centuries. His massive reptilian body shook uncontrollably. Other instructors tried to calm him down. 7 days, he kept repeating. The test is supposed to take 7 days. I designed it myself. 7 days. Sir, please calm down, said Instructor Bex. Maybe the simulation was broken. We checked everything 12 times. The simulation was perfect. That human completed it in 1 hour because he is. Zyktos could not finish the sentence. Because he is what? Because he is not class 3. We classified his species wrong. Completely wrong. The Academy's main computer system was trying to process HFY's test results, but the numbers were so far outside normal parameters that the system kept crashing. Emergency technicians worked frantically to prevent a complete system failure. The computer thinks the data is impossible, reported the head technician. It keeps trying to fix what it thinks are errors, but the data is correct. Yes, sir. We recorded everything. The human really did complete the crucible in 1 hour. Word spread quickly through the Academy. Cadets gathered in small groups, whispering about the human who broke the impossible test. Some were excited, others were terrified. Kira found HFY in the medical center park. Are you okay? Everyone is saying crazy things about your test. I am fine, HFY said, but I do not understand why everyone is so upset. The test was not very hard. Not very hard. Kira's 4 eyes all focused on him. Park, you completed the endurance crucible in 1 hour. The previous record was over 6 days. Maybe the other cadets were not trying hard enough. Park, listen to me. The crucible breaks warriors from the strongest species in the galaxy. These are beings who can lift 1,000 kilograms, who can run for days without stopping, who can survive in environments that would kill most lifeforms instantly. HFY thought about this. Maybe they are not as strong as they think. Or maybe humans are much stronger than anyone realized. Before HFY could respond, emergency communicators activated throughout the station. A voice spoke in dozens of languages. All Academy personnel report to emergency stations immediately. All cadets remain in quarters until further notice. This is not a drill. Kira's compound eyes widened. Emergency stations. That means they think the Academy is under attack. Attack by who? I do not know. But the Academy has never called emergency stations before, not even during the Zephyrian War. Throughout the galaxy, emergency messages were being sent to governments and military commands. The news was spreading faster than anyone expected. On the bridge of a Malthari battlecruiser, General Thokrin read the message with disbelief. The Malthari were known as the galaxy's greatest warriors. They came from a world with crushing gravity and deadly predators. No species was tougher than the mole. Single quotes to Hari. Until now, a human completed the Academy's endurance crucible in 1 hour. Thokrin growled. That is impossible. Our best warriors need 4 days minimum, sir. The message is verified. Multiple sources confirm it. Then humans are a Class 1 apex predator species. We must notify the Defense Council immediately. On the crystal world of Altair 7, the Council of Minds received the same message. The crystalline beings were known for their perfect logic and careful analysis. They never panicked. They were panicking now. If 1 human can do this, what can 1,000,000 humans do? Asked Council Leader Shalanth. What about 1,000,000,000 humans? We must recalculate all threat assessments for the human systems immediately. Should we consider them a hostile species we do not know? We know nothing about them. That is the problem. Back at the Academy, HFY was finally released from the medical center. He walked through corridors filled with running instructors and nervous cadets. Everyone stared at him as he passed. He found his way to the cafeteria, hoping to get some food. The room was nearly empty. Most cadets were locked in their quarters. Only a few aliens sat at tables, talking in whispers. When HFY entered, the room went completely silent. He got his food and sat at an empty table. Within minutes, the cafeteria was empty except for him. This is very strange, he said to himself. A few minutes later, another human entered the cafeteria. She was a young woman with short black hair and the confident walk of a military officer. She saw Hyanwu and approached his table. "Are you the human everyone is talking about?" she asked in Korean. Hyanwu was surprised to hear his native language. "Yes, I think so. I am Park Hyanwu. I am Seong. I arrived on the transport this morning." She sat down across from him. "The instructors are acting very strange. They keep staring at me and checking their data pads. They have been doing that to me for weeks. I heard you completed some kind of impossible test." Hyanwu explained what had happened. Seong listened carefully. "The Endurance Crucible," she said when he finished. "I read about it in the Academy materials. It is supposed to be based on the hardest military training from 50 different worlds. It reminded me of basic training exercises from Korea. Basic training that seems too easy. That is what I thought." Seong was quiet for a moment. "Hyanwu, I was a pilot in the Republic of Korea Air Force. Our training was very demanding. Long hours, high stress, constant testing. Yes, military training. It is always hard. But what if our training is harder than alien military training?" "What do you mean? What if humans are naturally tougher than other species? What if what we consider normal is actually extraordinary?" Hyanwu had been thinking the same thing. Maybe that is why everyone is acting so strange. How strange. They had called emergency stations. That apparently never happens unless the academy is under attack. Seong's eyes widened. "They think we are a threat. But we are not dangerous. We are just here to learn." "Hyanwu, think about it. If you can complete their hardest test in 1 hour, what does that say about human military capability?" Before he could answer, Drill Sergeant Ziktos entered the cafeteria. He moved slowly, like he was carrying a heavy weight. His usual confident demeanor was gone. "Humans," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "I need to ask you something." "Yes, sir," they both replied. "Is Park's performance normal for your species?" Hyanwu and Seong looked at each other. "Sir, Hyanwu was Special Forces," Seong said. "His training was more advanced than most soldiers. But could other humans do what he did?" "Some could, yes." "How many?" "Sir, Korea has about 50,000 Special Forces soldiers. Many other countries have similar units." Zektos sat down heavily. The chair creaked under his massive weight. 50,000, he repeated. 50,000 soldiers who could complete the Crucible in 1 hour. "Sir, is that a problem?" "Human. The entire Galactic Defense Force has only 12 soldiers who have ever completed the Crucible in less than 3 days. You are telling me that one small country on your world has 50,000 soldiers of that level?" "Sir, that is just Korea. There are many other countries." "How many people live on your world?" "About 8 billion. Ziktos put his massive head in his hands. 8 billion on a death world, with military training that makes our elite programs look like children's games. Sir, Earth is not a death world. It is actually quite pleasant. Human, any world that produces soldiers like you is a death world. We just did not realize it before." Ziktos stood up and walked toward the door. Then he stopped and turned back. "Humans, I have one more question. What is the strongest military force on your world?" "That depends on how you measure strength," Seong said. "The United States has the most advanced technology. China has the largest army. Russia has the most nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons, atomic bombs. Very powerful weapons that can destroy entire cities. How many nuclear weapons does your species have?" "About 15,000, I think." Ziktos stared at them for a long moment. Then he turned and left the cafeteria without another word. Hyanwu and Seong sat in silence. "I think we might have scared him," Seong said finally. "I think we scared everyone." Outside the cafeteria windows, they could see ships arriving at the academy, military vessels from a dozen different species, emergency response fleets, science ships filled with researchers. The galaxy was coming to study the humans, and the humans had no idea why everyone was so afraid. The emergency session of the Galactic Defense Council was held in the Great Assembly Hall on Nexus Prime. Representatives from 200 worlds gathered to discuss a single topic, the human problem. Council Speak of Exani, an ancient being made of living metal, called the session to order. Her voice echoed through the massive chamber. "Fellow beings, we face an unprecedented situation. The species we classified as Class 3 Deathworlders has demonstrated capabilities far beyond our measurements." Murmurs of concern filled the hall. General Thokron of the Molthari Defense Force will present his analysis. The massive warrior stepped to the center of the hall. Even among aliens, Thokron was intimidating. His people were known throughout the galaxy as unstoppable fighters. "Council members, I have reviewed all data from the Academy incident. The human completed our most difficult test in 1 hour. This test was designed to challenge our strongest warriors. It took me 4 days to complete it, and I am considered among the elite." He activated a holographic display showing Hyanwu's test results. But this is not the most concerning part. According to human representatives, this individual's performance is normal for their military specialists. They claim to have hundreds of thousands of soldiers at this level. The hall erupted in shocked voices. Furthermore, Thokron continued, their homeworld contains 8 billion individuals. Their military technology includes 15,000 nuclear weapons. We have been treating a Class 1 apex predator species as a minor threat. Council Speaker Vexani raised her metal hand for silence. What do you recommend? Immediate to Class 1 Apex Deathworlder, full diplomatic respect. And we pray they remain friendly. 3 months later, the academy had been completely transformed. New warning signs were posted throughout the station in 47 languages. The largest signs were in the human quarters. Deathworlder training in progress, authorized personnel only. Hyun-woo walked through the corridors that had once seemed so intimidating. Now, other cadets moved quickly out of his way. Instructors bowed politely when they saw him. Even Drill Sergeant Ziktos treated him with nervous respect. The academy had created entirely new training programs. The original Endurance Crucible was now called Standard Human Training Exercise Level 1. They were working on creating Level 2 for humans who wanted more challenge. Most alien cadets were not allowed near the human training areas. The equipment was too dangerous for non-Deathworlders. Hyun-woo's new role was as an instructor. He taught Deathworlder adaptation techniques to alien cadets who wanted to improve their performance. The classes were popular, though most students could barely complete the warm-up exercises. Remember, Hyun-woo told his current class, this is not about being strong, it is about being efficient. Use your mind first, then your body. His students included Kira, Luck, and Thane. They had all improved significantly under his teaching, though they still moved much slower than any human. Instructor Park, Kira said after class, may I ask you a personal question? Of course. Do you miss Earth? Hyun-woo thought about it. He missed his family, especially his younger sister Dayoon. But his work at the academy was important. It was helping to build understanding between humans and the rest of the galaxy sometimes, he said. But I like helping here. The other instructors say you are the most dangerous being they have ever met, but you are also the kindest. Dangerous? Hyun-woo was confused. I have never hurt anyone here. That is what makes you dangerous. You could hurt anyone, anytime you wanted. But you choose not to. That kind of power with that kind of control is terrifying to most species. That evening, Hyun-woo sat in his quarters writing a message to his family. His room was now twice as large as before. The academy had upgraded all human accommodations. After realizing their mistake, the door chimed. Come in, he called. So Da-Shung entered carrying a datapad. She had become the academy's human liaison officer, helping to bridge the gap between human and alien cultures. Hyun-woo, I have news from Earth. Good news or bad news? Interesting news. The Korean government wants to send more military advisors to the academy. They think it will improve relations with the galactic community. How many advisors? 50. Hyun-woo whistled softly. The academy will need to build a new wing just for humans. They are already planning it. They are also requesting that all human advisors have basic military training only. No special forces. Why? Because they are afraid. Hyun-woo, you broke their understanding of what was possible. They do not want to deal with anyone more capable than you. But I am not that special. Many Korean soldiers are stronger and faster than me. That is what scares them. So-young sat down in the chair across from his desk. Hyun-woo, I have been thinking about something. Before humans joined the galactic community, how did other species settle disputes? Diplomatic negotiations, I assume. And if negotiations failed, military action. Yes, but think about it. Military action between species who are all roughly equal in capability. No one had overwhelming advantages. Hyun-woo began to understand. But now humans are part of the community exactly. We accidentally became the galactic police force. No one wants to fight a species that can complete their ultimate test in 1 hour. Is that good or bad? I think it is good. There have been no military conflicts anywhere in the galaxy since your test results were published. Everyone is too busy trying to stay on humanity's good side. Hyun-woo finished writing his message to Dayoon. As always, he tried to make his life at the academy sound routine and boring. He did not want her to worry. Dayoon, he wrote, life at the academy is getting more interesting. I am teaching now, which I enjoy. The other students are very respectful, though I think they study too hard. I hope you are doing well in school. Tell mother and father I am safe and happy. I will visit Earth soon. Love, your brother. He sent the message and looked out his window. At the stars, somewhere out there was Earth, a small blue world that the galaxy now viewed with a mixture of respect and fear. Ships continued to arrive at the academy every day. Researchers, diplomats, and military observers all wanted to study. The humans, most left more confused than when they arrived. How could a species so powerful be so peaceful? How could warriors so capable be so humble? How could people from such a dangerous world be so kind? The questions had no easy answers. Next morning brought another group of new human cadets. Hyun-woo greeted them at the docking bay. They were young soldiers from different countries, excited to represent Earth at the prestigious academy. Welcome to Nexus 7, Hyun-woo said in English. I am Instructor Park. I will help you adjust to life here. Sir, said one of the new arrivals. A young woman with American accent patches on her uniform. We heard there were some kind of problems with the training programs here. Problems? They said the courses were too easy for humans. Hyun-woo smiled. Do not worry about that. They have made new courses just for us. Harder courses. Much harder. The new cadets looked excited. They had come expecting a challenge as they walked through the academy corridors. Hyun-woo noticed the warning signs again. Other cadets still moved out of their way. Instructors still bowed nervously. He wondered if this would ever feel normal. But then he thought about what So-young had said. The galaxy was more peaceful now. Conflicts were being solved through words instead of weapons. Different species were working together instead of fighting. Maybe being feared was not so bad. If it meant being respected, maybe being dangerous was acceptable. If it meant protecting peace. His sister Dayun had asked in her last message if military life in space was as boring as he made it sound. Hyun-woo looked around at the academy that had been transformed by his presence, at the alien cadets who studied human techniques with desperate intensity, at the signs warning of Deathworlder training in progress. He would write back and tell her the truth. Dayun, it is getting more interesting every day. The galaxy had learned to respect humans. Now it was time for humans to learn how to use that respect wisely. Hyun-woo Park, former Korean Special Forces operator, current academy instructor, accidentally the most feared being in known space, walked toward his classroom to teach another a lesson about the terrifying art of being human. Behind him, warning signs blinked in 47 languages, and the galaxy held its breath.